Hello Pisces, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading for the end of December 2022, kind of moving into the new year, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future. As you can see, I've already pulled the oracle cards and clarified those. I have a tarot deck we'll dive into, and then we'll go deeper into those messages in the extended. If you are new to my channel, it might seem a little silly that I do extended readings when I have very few subscribers. I just started a couple of weeks ago, but I did used to have a tarot channel in the past that I got rid of for some personal reasons, and I am currently in a phase of rebuilding. So I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and dive in. In your recent past, you have the end of a tough cycle approaches with the Two of Wands in reverse. Your recent past was a lot of overthinking. I mean, this card to me is like obsessively overthinking and like trying to overplan your future almost. Like really not able to go with the flow of things. And that stems from some sort of trauma somewhere. So we can definitely dive in to see what's going on there. But I just feel like you guys have been under a lot of stress recently. Because you currently have in your current energy, it's time to release negativity with the Hierophant in reverse. This is a reading about doing things a little different than you're used to doing. It's like it's changing the way you do things. I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to, because I feel like you've overplanned, or you kind of like obsessively overthought situations, and that's never really got you anywhere, to be completely honest. And I feel like now is kind of an energy of like releasing that and allowing yourself to go with the flow a little bit more. In your immediate future, you have believe in the impossible with the Seven of Swords in reverse. So there's something that's going to come to light about some sort of situation that you've been stressing about, and I feel like it's going to be good information, because you do have believe in the impossible. But let's see, or it's information that makes it feel impossible even though it's not. I'm not quite sure, but let's see. In your recent past, you have the end of a tough cycle approaches with the Two of Wands in reverse. So let's see what other messages we have here. This is recent past for Pisces for the end of December 2022. Recent past for Pisces. Three of Wands with the Five of Swords. Three of Wands in reverse. Oh, Five of Swords. So they're both in reverse. I feel like I talked about this in your guys' last reading, but this is like this need to let go of some defensiveness here. There's a lot of defensiveness in your recent past, and it came with overthinking, because there's something about like some sort of situation is in your comfort zone, or you've been keeping yourself in your comfort zone by believing you have control over a situation. So overthinking, we can trick ourselves into believing that if we overthink something, then we can think about all the possible worst case scenarios for how something could go wrong, and prepare ourselves for them so that when the time comes, it doesn't hurt as bad. And it's like, no, that actually isn't the case. It's like you feel like you have to defend yourself from something. You feel like you have to protect yourself from this world. Like the universe is out to get you or something. That's obviously not the case. It never has been the case. The universe always has your back. But that stems from a certain something that's happened to you in the past. But what you don't realize is you've been keeping yourself in your comfort zone by investing in the familiarity of things instead of trying something new, or stepping into something new, or stepping into something because it's approaching a situation in a way that you've never really approached a situation before. I'm going to take this one. You have the Well in reverse with the Three of Cups. Oh my goodness, this is so similar to the Libra reading I just did. This is some sort of overthinking about some specific kind of reconciliation. But what you don't realize is that reconciliation, This is where I really just feel like I want to get into just my rants about how the tarot community has gotten so out of hand with this whole, your person's coming back, oh, they're with third party, but they're still thinking about you kind of thing, because it's just so unhealthy and so not the point of tarot. Because what I'm seeing with the Well in reverse is this is you having a problem with just allowing things to flow in one way or another. It's like you have your eyes set on a certain prize, and that you're not letting that prize out of your sight. But the thing is, that prize is in your comfort zone, and there's a need to release this like idea that if things don't happen exactly like you want them to, that means you're going to be alone forever, or you're never going to be successful, or whatever the case might be for you, because this is actually a cycle of yours, Pisces. This is a cycle of yours, and it's a cycle of, if this one thing doesn't go the way that I want it to, then I'm never going to be happy. That's been your belief system, and that's why you tend to overthink, is because it's like you prepare yourself for how things can go wrong, but you also, overthink how things could go right. And it's just like you're living your life in your head instead of allowing yourself to just go with the flow. Okay, recent past for Pisces. Recent past for Pisces, and it's a tough cycle. This is a tough cycle for you. This is something that has kept you from enjoying your life, almost, because you've been so trapped in this belief that if things don't go your way, that it means that they're not working out for you. And that's why you believe that you need to protect yourself, but that's not the case. The Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Cups in reverse, and the Four of Swords in reverse. You're burning yourself out by focusing on the wrong things, by focusing on the wrong outcomes. It's not saying that those outcomes aren't possible. It's saying that your happiness shouldn't ride on them. And so that's why there's this need, I feel like, and this was all in your recent past. It's like, in the way that I kind of read this is like, what problem has kind of come to light? How is it being dealt with in your current energy, and how is it going to impact your future? So to me, it's kind of, the problem is this overthinking, and like not allowing. The whole concept of a spiritual healing journey is learning the process of allowing, learning the concept of just letting go and letting the universe do its thing, and knowing that everything is always working out for you, even if it doesn't feel like it. And that's it's an easy concept to talk about, right? It's not so easy in practice, but that's why a healing journey is so difficult. If it were easy, everyone would do it, right? But okay, let's look at your current energy, because you have, it's time to release negativity with the Hierophant in reverse. So this is a reading about doing things differently than you've ever really done before, because the way that you've done them hasn't worked. It's never worked, and it won't ever work, because it's a cycle. You have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse with the Five of Wands. This is doubting. Okay. You try to force specific things to happen because you don't believe that what you actually want is possible. So it's like you settle. You're like, oh, well, this person might not do this, and this for me, but at least I'm not alone. Or things are really good in this way, even though this major chunk of my desires are missing from this situation. And it's like, you've got to realize that, first and foremost, no one's going to ever be perfect. I know that. That's not what I'm saying. But you don't have to settle just because you're afraid of not having anything at all. Because that's conflicting energy you're putting out. You're telling the universe, you're saying, oh, I deserve to feel loved, but then you're choosing situations that don't make you feel loved, and you're showing the universe, this is all I deserve. So the universe continues to give you situations that align with that energy, instead of saying, I deserve more, and really truly acting from that place, so that the universe can continue to provide you with what you do deserve. It's realizing that you're more responsible for the outcome of situations than you realize. Now, that's not saying that you're at fault for how things turn out. There's a difference between blame and responsibility. It's just saying that, like, you can either choose to continue to repeat a cycle, or you can choose to break it and try to approach it from a different perspective, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is like, you're needing a different perspective on something. King of Wands with the Six of Pentacles. This is like, and there's the Queen of Wands. So you could be dealing with a fire sign, or the way that I'm reading this is like, the only one that's going to provide for you the way that you're needing is you. You are your own you got to be your own best partner first. You've got to provide for you first. And I feel like you've done a lot of providing for other people and hoping that that is going to pay off in the end. But you get in situations where someone else just takes and you continue to give. And I feel like that's where, it's why it's like, it's interesting because it's like doing things the way that you've never done them before is like choosing you first. Putting yourself first is something that you're not used to. It's something you've never really done before. It's something you're not familiar with. And that's why your cycle has always been choosing somebody else, giving someone else the benefit of the doubt, you know, taking care of somebody else. And it's like, this isn't actually a time for you to take care of you, not the other way around. This is you needing to take care of you. Because when you choose yourself, the universe always rewards you. You are the universe in motion. The universe loves when it's chosen. It's an energy of needing to, and there's that Five of Swords in reverse again with the Queen of Pentacles. It's letting go of this defensiveness, this you against the world mentality. And then there's the Eight of Swords in reverse, my favorite card in tarot, because it's the release of limiting beliefs. You know, our belief system is what manifests. People talk about, oh, I'm manifesting this, I'm manifesting that. It's like, no, you're consciously trying to change your belief system. You're not. We're always manifesting. You don't have to have an active hand in manifesting. It's just how your belief system it's how your belief system manifests, essentially. But I just see that there's like this need to like let go of the idea that you have to fight for love, that you have to argue, and there has to be this level of like fight, like a struggle to have what it is that you deserve in love. And this doesn't have to just be a romantic love, right? This can be any kind of relationship. But I just feel like there's this need to recognize that you truly deserve more than you're allowing yourself to believe you deserve. And this is a cycle. This is, you settle for what is there because you fear there's nothing better. Right. Immediate future for Pisces. It's common though, I get it. It's a big cycle that in breaking that you can set yourself free in a lot of really cool ways, so that you start manifesting things that align with your value, not that align with your lack of value, lack of not seeing your value. You don't ever lack value. It's just about whether or not you believe you have value. All right, immediate future for Pisces. This is about your foundation in terms of what you invest in. You know, if your foundation in a relationship, your foundation in a situation, it depends on how you create it. And I say that because you have believe in the impossible, and you have this the Seven of Swords in reverse. And so this is like, you need to believe in what feels impossible, even if it isn't immediately in your circumstances, because that is how you create a good foundation to build on. If you only believe what you can see right now, meaning if you're like, I don't know how the universe is ever going to provide me with the love of my life or my financial or material abundance because I don't see a path there right now, then you're focusing on the lack side of things. The proper way to approach that situation, I'm not saying it's easy, but what you need to get yourself to is a place of being like, I believe that everything I want and need is possible, even if I don't know how. That's the foundation you're missing, is that faith. Because right now you're coming from this Ace of Swords in reverse, this lack of clarity. And it's like there's this need to move on. There's this need to move forward, move on from something in your past, so that you can move forward to your future. And I feel like it's like, it could just be this belief system as a whole, this belief system that, remember, this is about doing something that you've never done before. So in your immediate future, I see a solid foundation being built. And I feel like it's because you're approaching things from a place that you've never really approached them from before. So that's a really cool energy. Okay, immediate future for Pisces. You know, if you're looking for a tarot reader that's just going to validate your unhealthy hopes, then that's not me. You have the Hermit with the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Sun in reverse. So this is about, like, in your immediate future, I see you going within. This is a lot of, like, self-contemplation, like facing yourself in a way. And it's facing, like, your emotional side. I feel like you haven't gotten in touch with your emotional side in a while, Pisces. I feel like you've been pretty closed off. You've been in this Five of Swords energy, this protecting yourself from the world around you, this defensiveness. And it's because you don't want to get hurt again, right? It's because you fear some sort of past situation repeating itself. So I get it, but there's some healing that needs to be done so that what you believe is impossible starts to feel possible. Because with the Seven of Swords in reverse, something needs to come to light. There's something, and maybe that's just your limiting beliefs as a whole, because here's the Eight of Swords. It's like you need to recognize your limiting beliefs and recognize how those limiting beliefs have continued to manifest. Whether that's you don't feel lovable, or you don't feel like you're able to sustain a relationship, or you don't feel like, you know, I'm not exactly sure what the case is, but you usually have to go back to your past and heal the ways that things haven't worked out so that you can start to see how it's possible that things do, because your perception of your reality is merely based on your experiences. If you've experienced things going wrong, your reality is going to feel as if things are going wrong. Let's get one more. Immediate future for Pisces. There's the Two of Wands in reverse. This is literally healing overthinking. Like the same Two of Wands in reverse. This is your tough cycle. This is a star about, or a card about healing. And then there's another card, this Four of Wands. This is another card about a foundation. Your overthinking is what is killing you guys. Healing your overthinking is, you can't, it's what gets you into that closed off space in general. You create, I'm just gonna say it straight, you create problems where problems don't exist. A lot of times, you know, I saw this Eckhart Tolle teaching that, like, it just really came to me at the right time. It definitely aligns with this reading. And it was talking about how the first awakening, and when you have a spiritual awakening, is when you realize that that voice in your head isn't you, that it's not real, that it you know, our body responds. Our body doesn't know the difference between actual danger in our real circumstances, you know, a wolf standing in front of us, or being, you know, watching a fire or something. Our body doesn't know the difference between that and problems we create in our head. So we stick ourselves into fight or flight by obsessing over things that aren't really even real. And that creates more problems for us emotionally than our reality actually does. Majority of our worries are self-made. And that was a really cool, I mean, I've obviously known that. That's something I've been preaching for years now in my spiritual teachings, but it's just like, hearing it, and it is so necessary over and over to be like, you're right, that voice in my head isn't real. You know, I saw a TikTok that, it was weird because I saw the TikTok and then that teaching came up on my YouTube, and it was kind of the same message. And it was like, this TikTok was talking about how imagining, not everyone has an inner dialogue, but if you do, and that inner dialogue tends to kind of control you, the biggest thing, and this was actually in Eckhart Tolle, but then I'll tie it back to the TikTok, the biggest thing is not needing to have a positive or negative stance on a thought that you have. You know, there's that concept of being the observer of your thoughts. Your thoughts are just that. They're just thoughts. They're separate from who you actually are, from your essence. And so being able to observe your thoughts without needing to have a positive or a negative stance, instead of saying, oh, that's a fearful thought, and needing to, like, because, like, you know, some people will say, oh, I shouldn't have said that. And then they'll come back at themselves well, I feel like I need to stand up for myself. And it's like, oh, well, you did that the wrong way. And you'll literally have this argument in your head. And it's no different than feeling like someone on the street talking to themselves is crazy, because it is literally you talking to yourself. Now, I'm not saying you're crazy, but it's just, it's self-created issues that then create emotional turmoil for yourself that then cause you to get stuck in this energy of feeling like you have to protect yourself because you're stuck in fight or flight because you've created so many problems for yourself. So this TikTok talked about how, like, imagining your thoughts as like a little guy in a rocking chair in the corner, like a super tiny guy that's just like yelling stuff at you. And whether it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Again, it's about not having a positive or a negative stance on the thoughts you have. Okay, enough rambling. We are going to jump on over to the extended. My extended readings are set up with the pay what you want / can kind of structure. Not trying to hoard them, keep them to myself. So I hope that this reading helped, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye Pisces.